All right, guys, we are back, and you guys knew I wasn't going to let this one slide, right? You guys knew I wasn't going to let this one slide. I know I've been gone for a little bit, but I saw the interview. I saw the interview with Dan Rafael on IFL TV, giving the real spill on what went down with the PBC and Canelo Alvarez situation, why they're splitting ways. And I will stand by what I said in my last few videos about Canelo Alvarez. He's a super duck when it came to David Benavidez. He's a super duck. I still stand by it. Not only do I stand by it, he also, I would say in this interview that I watched, it kind of revealed that he was also ducking the smoke with Terrence Buck Crawford. And I'm going to explain why in a minute here, that Terrence Buck Crawford thing as well. So Dan Rafael, in the interview with IFL TV, he had his inside sources on what was going on with the PBC. He said that the original fight deal that was revealed, it was Jamal Charlo, and get this, the third fighter on the deal was none other than Errol the True Spence Jr. Errol the True Spence Jr., you heard me right. The 147-pound Errol the True Spence Jr., the only one that there is. So I would say this first. As far as the PBC goes, a lot of people are saying PBC dropped the ball on this. I wouldn't put this on Al Heyman. I would say that it was more of Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence Jr. dropping the ball on this deal. Jermell dropped, he was the first, of course. Well, I would say Errol was the first in losing the fight to Terrence Buck Crawford in such a dramatic fashion. He lost the fight. You know, I wouldn't say he's damaged goods, but if he lost to Terrence Buck Crawford like that, there was no way in hell they were going to put him in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. Then, of course, you had Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, who put on that lackluster performance in the Undisputed versus Undisputed matchup, completely dropping the ball. So his brother, you know, despite, let's put aside his things that he's been going through, being out of the ring 2 years, dealing with mental health issues, dealing with alcohol, his brother kind of messed up the deal for him. The PBC knew nobody wanted to see that fight. They lost money on that Jermell fight. They knew that they were going to lose money on the Jamal Charlo fight. So they wanted to renegotiate the deal with Canelo Alvarez. Now get this, they were willing to lose money on a Charlo fight if they could get David Benavidez or Terrence Buck Crawford against Canelo in a third fight. That's what they wanted. And the Jaime Munguia situation as well. They were willing to put him in the ring with Jaime Munguia, do a cross-promotion deal. They didn't want to do the Charlo thing. Canelo Alvarez didn't want to bite. You know, he had his reasons, and we know his reasons why he didn't want to mess with that deal, because he wanted no parts of David Benavidez. He's a threat. Like I said, he's a threat. Big young guy, hungry. He's not tailor-made for Canelo Alvarez. You know, he's a puncher. He's going to come straight ahead. He's a volume puncher. Too much of a threat, like I said. Now, we heard Canelo Alvarez said he wouldn't get any credit for defeating Crawford because he was too small, coming up from 147. So why is that the case for Crawford, but it wouldn't have been the case for Errol the True Spence Jr.? He was coming up from 147 too. All has been revealed. All has been revealed. He knew Crawford was a bad style matchup, just like I said. And that's why he didn't want that smoke with Crawford. He knew David Benavidez was a threat to his throne, to his undisputed titles. So he didn't want to give David Benavidez the opportunity. So he walked. And now he's trying to make a deal on DAZN, fighting Edgar Berlanga and possibly Jaime Munguia. Now, I don't mind the Jaime Munguia fight. I think that's a pretty entertaining fight. I think, he's not going to lay down for Canelo. I don't dislike Edgar Berlanga, but I know he's not ready for Canelo. It may do well because it's the Puerto Rican Mexican thing, but I don't think he deserves a shot. The guy that deserves the shot is not getting an opportunity. And I want to see if the WBC do what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to strip him of that WBC title if he doesn't face his mandatory challenger. We're going to see what happens with that. They're probably not going to do it. They're probably going to cater to Canelo Alvarez. And I think it's not fair to David Benavidez. I'll say that. It's not fair to him. And I'm all about fairness. I've given Canelo Alvarez his props. I think Canelo Alvarez is a hell of a fighter, but I don't think he should get special privileges because, he is the undisputed champion, because he's done so much in the game. I think he should be held to a higher standard just because he's the top guy. But a lot of fans aren't willing to do that. They're going to tell you he can do whatever he wants. They're going to tell you that, he's paid his dues to fight who he wants to fight. And I don't want to hear that. Boxing fans don't want to hear that. Real boxing fans don't want to hear that. They want to see the best competition face the best competition. And all was revealed in that interview. Now, Dan didn't really want to say it. He kind of, talked around it. But I'm going to keep it real on here. I'm going to say what he really wanted to say. Canelo Alvarez is a duck. He ducked David Benavidez. Now we find out that he ducked Terrence Bud Crawford. He didn't want that smoke with either one of those guys. He would have fought Errol. He would have fought a compromised Charlo. David Benavidez, who's his mandatory challenger, no way, Jose. No way, Jose. Terrence Bud Crawford, best pound for pound fighter on the planet, no way, Jose. No way, Jose. He's got to protect those titles, guys. He's got to protect those titles. So that is my take on that. I know some of you guys aren't going to like it, but I know the truth hurts sometime. I've heard the truth about things about myself I didn't want to hear, but the truth must be revealed. So you guys let me know what you think about that in the comments section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.